When we first started designing Knockout City, it was really important to me that this be a game that me and my friends could easily pick up and play, but something we would actually stick to and develop our skills over time.
We really focused on making sure that the game, first and foremost, no matter what else happened, was fun.
When I think back to some of my favorite games, Smash Brothers, Quake 3, Halo, Rocket League, they all share that kind of easy to pick up and play, but there's still so much depth to those games where you could just play it for years and years and always get better.
A really big factor in making this a high-skill game, in addition to something accessible, is that depending on your proximity to other players, as well as their skill level and your understanding of them, you're kind of playing two different games. Once you start getting close to players, you start playing chess.
Everything that we developed in the game mostly starts with the game feel. What feels right? Every time we pick up the ball, every time we throw it, we want to make sure that feels satisfying.
There is a lot of kind of unique mechanics that kind of show up in the game, right? Curve shots, lob shots, fake throws. There's the overcharge perfect catch system, all the different ball types.
For each mechanic, we say one player up against one player. What are the different choices that you have in your attack? And what are the different choices that they have in their defense? And how can we create depth there first? Then we start to move later to teamwork strategies.
There was a lot of ways we could have gone to just make the game far more complex than what we currently have. But every time we did, it always felt like we were taking one step away from that core, solid, fun center, that juicy, molten chocolate cake, gooey deliciousness that was kind of the fundamentals of Knockout City.
Some of the best players in the studio are in the QA department, but by far the best player is Merc. Chris Mercado, we call him Merc because we have too many Chris's.
I have a reputation in the studio. That's one of the things that somehow has made it into the introduction. We have new hires like, hey, here's Merc, by the way, he's pretty good at the game.
Merc's really good. He's probably the best player in the studio.
The best player in the studio is definitely Merc.
Quinn's really good. She's also she has really good positioning.
I think it's always the same group of people that I'm afraid to go up against. It would have to be Quinn, Jazz, and Merc.
QA usually has just really good rote technical skills. Like, oh, you're gonna throw them a supercharged ball and they're just gonna catch it because they do that all day and they're really good at it.
Man, when we talk about strategies, there's so many.
Verticality, always. If you can get a slow lob off of any high platform, no one knows when to catch those.
Getting a ball, gliding over players, and just hitting them straight on the head.
I am known throughout in the studio for what I would consider cheeky plays.
Coming at one opponent with two teammates, which is you and another, just passing back and forth, and then your opponent never knows when or who is going to throw the ball.
One thing I like to do is when I'm surrounded by the other team is to back myself to a ledge and jump off of it and just hang myself out in the middle of nowhere, no ground beneath me, and just float gently back in and just tempt the other team, be like, do something. Do it. I know, I'm a juicy target. Just stare at me. Stare at me. Don't look behind you. Don't look behind you. Don't worry, there's nothing over there. And then either my teammate gets up behind them or I get one of them to trip up and then they end up falling off the edge.
If I have a regular ball and an opponent has a bomb ball, when they throw the bomb ball at you, if you can throw your normal ball at them, those two balls will collide in midair and set off the bomb ball and blow up in their face.
I like a lot of off-the-map play. So either gliding around behind someone, some of the maps like rooftops, you can get really nice flank routes just from one side of the garden to the other.
Timing and playing mind games with people. If you have a volley going back and forth between you and your opponent and you hold it for just a second longer, they're done.
Using the actual explosion effect of the ultimate throw to conceal what you're doing. Throw a dodgeball, throw a bomb ball through the smoke.
I usually just play with distance a lot, so what I'll do is I'll just find the distance that I like and I'll just wait. And people usually get really confused and they'll panic dodge or they'll panic catch.
In the last beta, I went up against Jasmine. I was with a couple friends who hadn't played the game before.
Oh, I see Marina and I'm like, damn it, I'll have to focus on this one.
I recognized her name and so I said, okay guys, you have to just hold back. She will come at you with everything she's got.
2 people would come in, we did a wave of 2 people and then I'd KO them. And then Marina would come in, I would disengage, the spawns would get reset. 2 people would come in, I'd KO them, Marina would come in, I'd disengage.
They didn't listen. They're like, oh, okay, honestly, it's a Velan employee. We're gonna kick butt. They didn't kick butt. We got our butts kicked. I think we got 2 points total. So great time.
A lot of my gameplay involves the psychology of players that I'm going up against.
When I go up against Quinn, one of the things that she always does that gets me every single time is the fake throw. It's like she's right in my brain, and she gets me every time. So I've discovered that she really dislikes the screaming taunt. And my strategy with Quinn now is to start spamming that screaming taunt, and I run right at her. It throws off her sense of timing with her fake throw, and it allows me to get a hit off. She still usually beats me, but I feel better about it because I know that I made it a little bit more difficult for her.
He thinks that he can get inside my head by using my least favorite taunt. But the joke's on him, because if you mute a player, you also mute the taunts. So.
The internal competition at Velan is pretty ridiculous.
This is a game that's really competitive, and we want to show that competitive angle. We asked ourselves, could this be an esport one day even? How do we internally kind of prove out that that is a thing that can happen? I'm the kind of person who doesn't really do things by halves, and my solution was, hey, let's have an internal tournament. We're gonna make teams, we'll have seasons.
We had this little thing called Turf Wars.
A series of matches, usually 3v3s.
Kind of pull people from different departments kind of together on teams. So it's kind of like a team building thing as well as kind of a competition.
We'll do a full competitive bracket throughout the duration of a given season.
And there's also been 2 occasions of what I call March Malarkey. It's a 1v1 tournament that is a single elimination bracket. And that's given us a lot of different opportunities to not only see what the competitive nature of the game is like when people are really, and I mean this in a nice way, being tryhards about it, but it's also given us a chance to see what the social experience can be around that.
During the last game, we'd all get together in the main office and just project the last game on the wall so that everyone was there, everyone was cheering. The office would just be separated, like they had their own team that they were rooting for, and it would get kind of crazy.
One of the things I'm really excited about when we release this game is I know the community is going to quickly catch up to our skill level. They're going to quickly learn all the strategies that we have, and then they're going to quickly surpass us. And I'm really excited to see what new strategies the community comes up with that we haven't even figured out ourselves. So I want to see Merc outdone. I want to see Merc go up against people that will just totally crush him and make him feel the way I feel every time I play against him.